and welcome to our next Bushido Maxim. So my name's Annette Kepri, I'm the Master Instructor of the Quantum Dojo and the CEO, and every month we bring you a different Bushido Entrepreneur Maxim and we discuss a little bit about it and then how we can pull it into our lives more and hopefully make some difference to ourselves and to others with the knowledge and wisdom of a lot of these maxims have. This particular one is probably my absolute all-time favourite. I do tend to say that every month that I bring a favourite one along, but this one does kind of really pip the post on it because I think for me, not only is it a brilliant maxim, it kind of denotes all the work that we do inside the dojo anyway. So whilst we work on kind of conscious living, conscious leadership and conscious business, it all starts within. So it's really, really important. So I'm just going to kind of, read it to you like I usually do, and then we'll go through it a little sort of step by step. So it's another one by Miyamoto Musashi. And for many of you that are familiar with the Book of Five Rings, it's part of that. But this quote is kind of everywhere because it's super famous. But it's just a really epic quote. So I'll just read it. So there is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself. Now, I'm going to cut this in two halves, really. So let's take the yin part first. The yin part is everything is within, everything exists, seeing nothing outside of yourself. Now, there's several things here. I'm going to always do the translation as I do into sort of like, the Bushido Entrepreneur, because obviously entrepreneurship's what I'm translating these maxims into. But the key thing there is that everything that you are within is what you are experiencing without. Now, for many people, there's a thing in conscious leadership where there's 4 levels, and anybody that's been around, the kinds of things that I teach on will be familiar with this. But there's one that's kind of like life happens to me. This is people that, this happened to me, and oh my God, this is a disaster, and everything's happening to them. There's another one that's people that's happening kind of by them. So this is your yang, I'm going to make it happen. This is a very patriarchal world. This is like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to force it. I'm going to kick ass. I'm going to do all these things. Then there's the next one, which kind of goes above the line, which is life happens through me. This is more your co-creational space where people are a little bit more aware of the universe and kind of potentiality and exponentially, and it's really in the part of where we talk about quantum leaps and in the quantum field. So people are a little bit more aware of the relationship between themselves and the cosmos. Then we have the as me, where everything is just flowing through me, and therefore I can take myself out of it, which often includes like ego, drama, problems, issues, so on and so forth. That's obviously the most hardest one to attain, and there's not really time to kind of go into that today. But really what I want to just talk about is this part of everything is within, everything exists, seek nothing outside of yourself. It's basically, he's really focusing there on the fact that within you as an individual, as an expression of the cosmos, is you are equipped with everything. You'll often hear me talk about missions and messages and this and that and the other. And the reason being is from the Bushido Entrepreneur perspective, from a conscious business perspective, is we are each given our own paths that we're experiencing as we go. And for most of us, they're going to end up being in a particular direction and for a particular point and a reason if we have that conscious awareness of it. And whilst we're doing that, we don't want to give our internal power, sovereignty, autonomy and everything away to anything external. I could really make a nice little caveat here into the pandemic and the vaccines and the viruses here and say that's a really good illustration of disempowering people and putting people into a fear state and isolating them and then coming up with a cure. The opposite of that is sovereignty, your own healing capabilities, and your own center point where you don't need to be pulled into anything external to you, because you just remain strong at your core and trust your body's ability and immune system and so on and so forth, because you have it all within you in the first place. So that's kind of like a little example of that. Now, when we move on to this part of there is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter, this is really referring to the idea that as you think, you become. So if I believe that I can do something, then chances are with work, effort, and all the rest of it, I can. And I want to make that little caveat there, because this isn't about, he's not saying sit there, do nothing, just have this expectation that the universe is going to kind of manifest it all onto a plate for you without any effort from you. But what he's saying to you is that don't seek it outside, meaning don't give that power. That's different to learning. That's a different thing. It doesn't mean you can't go and learn, you can't go and train, you can't have mentors, you can't have books, you can't go to events. It doesn't, that's not saying that. It's just meaning that you are aware that your results are fully down to you. So nobody can come along and tap a wand on any of us and go, right, now you're going to get that black belt, poof, overnight. Now you're going to be a master instructor, poof, overnight. Now you're going to be a billionaire. Now you're going to go to Mars. Now, none of that. It's about the internal belief system. So if you believe you can, then you can. Doesn't mean there's going to be no challenges. So this whole thing about get better, stronger, richer, quicker, smarter, a lot of those, with the exception of richer, are mental disciplines. So the thing about that is, for me, when we think about mind, body, spirit, I always reverse it and go spirit, mind, body. So meaning, if you are given, and we're going to talk in the entrepreneur's perspective, if we're given a mission, then we're given the tools to do that, and our body, our whole being, is able to facilitate it. Doesn't mean that we don't need to go out and get some help and support and so on and so forth, because we can. But it just means that as long as you're empowered and know that you're in the driving seat, you are not going to disempower yourself and give things away. Now, it's also really important to mention, when I say being in the driving seat, that not to confuse that with an egoic state, because an egoic state goes into one of the lower ones that I mentioned in conscious leadership, where it's by me or to me. Life's happening to me or life's happening by me. When we look at the by me, this goes into this forced perspective. If we try and force something and push something, and if you've ever worked in any kind of working environment where people are shouting at you to get results, and we've got to hit this and we've got to do that and we've got to, have to, should, that's all that kind of thing. And it's not very motivational for most people. That's not really inspiring, and that's the point. So there has to be a non-attachment point there, because if you are personally egoically attached to something, then you could go down the lane of trying to force and push, and then that's going against the Tao, it's going against nature. So remember, the core thing of this, everything exists, seeks nothing outside of yourself, is basically, we are part of nature, we are part of the landscape and the tapestry of the planet, of the universe, of the cosmos. And you've probably read quotes saying that, we're made of stardust and all various different compositions and so on and so forth. When we have that higher connection and we are conscious of it and have acute awareness, then we can make those decisions. and we can look within for the answers. And what really kind of springs to mind there is this is going to really sharpen your intuition, because if you feel it in your body, if somebody offers you something or you see something or whatever and you're deciding, do I want it, do I not want it, if you go within and go, okay, so is this going to be beneficial to me, is this going to help me, is this going to support me, if you get that resonance within your body that this is a yes, then it can mentally help you, and then it will be part of that, I don't want to get too much into spiritual, but it can be part of that spiritual fulfillment of the mission. So I think it's really, really important here for the discernment to say, in the first instance, everything is within us. We have everything that we need, but that doesn't mean that we don't have to make any effort and there's nothing to learn and there's nothing to do, because we can get a bit kind of displaced there, where some people will sit around, you think about manifestation and law of attraction and that kind of thing, and people can feel like, okay, I can just imagine it in my mind so I can create it, sort of from a quantum field perspective, and therefore I don't have to do anything. The problem with that kind of thinking is everything is on a frequency and on a vibration. So this is all about vibrational alignment. And the thing about it is, if we feel really, really connected, and if we feel at that highest point, then it is possible for us to manifest and create anything from that quantum field. But we have to be operating at a certain frequency. And most of the time, we're not operating at that frequency because there's lots of things within us that are kind of subconsciously dragging us down without us realizing it. So to get to this true state of complete inner freedom, where we're actually not a sum total of our past, a sum total of our limiting beliefs, so we're not a sum total of what the media's fed us and what we've learned growing up and so on and so forth. If we've actually become unattached to those things and we're in this conscious space where we're just working towards a higher and higher level of frequency and vibration and alignment within, then we'll just have an inner knowing. This is good for me, this is not good for me, this is good sustenance, this is not good sustenance, these are good people for me to be around, these are not good people for me to be around, this is an amazing course for me to go on, that I want to ignore, run away from. And so it becomes much easier to then create that space where the body is able to really flow on the mission. Now, I just want to get back into the mindset piece a little bit here. Some people feel that mindset is the be all and end all, but remember, the reason why I kind of use the well-known adage of mind, body, spirit, as old as it is, but just purely because it's just really important to remember that we are a composition of lots of different bodies and layers. So, we have like etheric and auric and so on and so forth. So the thing is, it's really important for you to be aware of what is in my head, what is my mindset, what is it that I'm thinking. So let's get this whole thing to be better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. So if I feel like, well, I need to be better than that person, I need to be stronger than this past thing that happened to me, I need to be richer than whatever, I need to go faster in what it is that I'm trying to do, I'm not smart enough, I need to get smarter. If we're sort of going after those things individually, collectively, or whatever, we're kind of missing the point. Because the point is, when you can know that everything is going to come to you from within, you don't need to worry about those points. That's why he kind of used those particular words, because he was trying to kind of give an amalgamation of words that were saying to you, look, it doesn't really matter what you're seeking or what you're chasing or wanting, and gave you a bit of a landscape of words there to choose from. It's actually what's going on within you. So all you ever have to worry about is the inner work, particularly. And you'll find that if that's easy to you, you'll naturally be a lifelong student of it, because you'll know, for me to actualize my potentiality in this human journey, I need to get out of my way. I don't need to worry about the people out there. I don't need to be worried about any of that stuff. I need to be concerned with what's within. And what's within, as I've said, for all of us, is this concentration of our upbringings, our childhoods, our schooling, our education, our families, our peers, our countries, our cultures, and all these different things. They've all kind of come together to make us what we are now. And so it's the unpicking of that which is not you in the first place. So when we get back to our true origin state and who we actually are right at the core of us, and then we really move up through that into that conscious alignment and higher frequency, those externals will manifest on their own. That's the point. So whatever you are internally, as I said, is going to be replicated externally. So we don't want to be chasing and pushing and driving so much. It's fine to have an aspiration. It's fine to have a strategy. It's fine to sort of know where you're going on the journey. That's not the issue. It's the energy that you bring to it. So if you bring to it that sort of negative, dysfunctional energy, then you'll have problems on the road. If you bring to it the energy of complete expanded consciousness of going, okay, well, I just need to worry about me. So I just need, and what I mean by that is I don't mean me in a selfish, egotistical way. I mean, okay, I need to worry about my levels of love and compassion and kindness and conscious living and what I'm doing right now. I then need to be concerned about my frequency and vibration and what I can do every day to support the mission. Because when we talk about an entrepreneur perspective of the mission, and once in our Facebook group at the minute, we're actually doing a challenge on this. So I'll put the link at the bottom if anybody wants to hop into it. But the point being is that if you want to really exponentially create and make that impact in your mission, then every day your task is, how can I serve better? How can I be more aligned? How can I, get that message out there more? What would be the offerings or the things that people who are into this kind of thing would want to receive from me? So it becomes much more externally based from a service point of you being in a really strong space, not from the place of feeling that you have to be these things better, stronger, richer, quicker or smarter. They just melt away, they fall by the wayside. It's more about who you are internally. Now, I'm always kind of conscious on these things not to go too far over sort of 15 minutes. So this is the one for this month. I think, it's a fantastic quote to have around to just give you like a little bit of a nudge and go, am I externally trying to create, or I'm internally allowing the unfolding and the blossoming? Two different things. So it'd be really good this month to really sort of dive into that and make some notes, really, make some notes, go, okay, so where am I striving for these things and where am I allowing, where am I serving and where am I receiving, and just kind of have a little play with them and see how you get on. As I said, I'll put the link for our group at the bottom of this, but if there's anything you need any help and support on, just give us a shout. If you are on a conscious business mission, we would love to help you. We have a huge range of tools and team inside the Quantum Dojo that can help you on your mission. And as I'm sure this quote explains, we do start within. So we have a whole self-integration and holistic health department before we move up into the mentoring and strategy, and before we move into the execution of that, which is all our kind of digital agency side of how we do all the creative stuff. So it's a very magical place to be, and there's lots of people creating absolutely awesome things out there in the world. So if that's something you're interested in, then just give us a shout. And we always just have conscious conversations with people. We don't you'll see in our challenge actually where we do about kind of sharing and offering. We don't do sales calls with people or anything like that. We're just really, really happy to connect with people all over the world, and wherever we can help, we will do. Anyway, so have a wonderful rest of month. Thank you for watching this particular episode. We'll be back next month with another one. So till then, take care. Bye-bye.